Essay all about Venus. 1. Introduction. Venus, Earth's mysterious and deadly twin among all the planets in the solar system. Venus is one of the most fascinating, mysterious, and deceptive worlds ever discovered. At first glance, Venus may seem almost familiar. It's often called Earth's twin because it's similar to Earth in size, mass, and overall structure. However, this nickname can be very misleading. Beneath the bright and beautiful appearance lies one of the most hottest extremely environments in the entire solar system. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, located just inside Earth's orbit. It's one of the brightest objects in the night sky and has been observed by humans since ancient times. Because of dazzling appearance, many cultures associate Venus with beauty, love, femininity, and divine power. The Romans named it Venus after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. But despite its graceful name and glowing presence, Venus is not a gentle world. In reality, it's a planet of crushing pressure, toxic cloud, volcanic planet, and a runaway greenhouse aspect so powerful it turned the planet into a kind of natural planetary furnace. Venus is even hotter than Mercury despite being farther from the Sun. This contrast between appearance and reality is what makes Venus so extraordinary. It is one of the clear examples in the solar system of how two planets that may have once been somewhat similar, Earth and Venus, can evolve into dramatically different worlds. Scientists study Venus not only because it's fascinating in its own terms, but also because it may help answer some of the biggest questions in the planetary science. What Venus be so hostile? Will Venus ever habitable? It could one of harsh ocean. What can Venus teach about climate change, planetary evolution, and even our planets? That essay will explore everything important about Venus: its origin, size, atmosphere, temperature, surface, volcanic activity, strength, rotation, possibility of past habitat, and why it remains one of the most scientifically important planets in the solar system. What of Venus? Venus is the second planet from the Sun, located between Mercury and Earth. Order of the inner planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Venus belongs to the group known as the terrestrial planets, which means it's rocky planets like Mercury, Earth, Mars. It is important because unlike giant planets such as Jupiter or Saturn, Venus actually has a solar solar surface. Basic facts about Venus. It is the second planet from the Sun. It is the hottest planet in the solar system. It is often colored green, and its thick toxic atmosphere it rotates very slow and the opposite direction. Compared to most planets, it has no moon, it has no ring system. Venus is one of the most unusual planets because despite being similar to Earth in some physical way, it is evolved into a world that is almost unimaginably extreme. The sign and physical characteristics of Venus. Venus is very similar to Earth in size, which one of the main reasons is often compared to our planet. Important physical facts about Venus. Diameter about 12,104 km, radius about 6,052 km, mass about 4.87 times 10 squared to the power of 4 kg, gravity about 90% of Earth's gravity. This means that if you stood on Venus, ignoring the fact that you instantly die from the condition, your weight would feel fairly similar to what it feels like on Earth. Because of this similarity, scientists have long been inserting in Venus the sky planetary mirror from Earth, or worse that may reveal can happen when a rocky planet's climate and atmosphere evolve in very different directions. The origin and formation of Venus, like the other planets in the solar system, Venus informed around 4.5 to 4.6 billion years ago. During the early formation of the Sun and the surrounding protoplanetary disk, Venus life formed through the following process. Dust and rock particles collided and stuck together. The material gradually formed larger body called planetesimal. Over time, the body merged into a growing rocky planet. Venus became one of the interterrestrial planets. Because Venus formed relatively close to the Sun, it accumulated mostly rocks, metal, dense mineral material. Unlike the giant planets, Venus did not gather huge envelopes of hydrogen and helium. Instead, it became a dense rocky world with a strong gravitational pull and eventually a very thick atmosphere. One of the great mysteries of Venus was that it may have one condition more similar to Earth, possibly including liquid water, before later becoming its scorching hellish world see today. Venus's position in the solar system. Venus orbits the Sun closer than Earth there. Average distance from the Venus to the Sun about 108 million kilometers. That's significantly close to the Sun and Earth, but not close enough by itself to explain Venus' extremely heat. The real reason Venus is so hot lies mostly in an atmosphere, which is explored later. Distance from Earth to Venus, Venus is actually closest planet to Earth on average in many orbital calculations. Although exact distance changes constantly depending where both planets is on their orbit. At its closest, Venus can come within about 38 million kilometers on Earth. That relative closeness has made Venus one of the most frequently observed planets in history of astronomy. Why Venus so bright in the sky? Venus is one of the brightest natural objects in the night sky, second only to the moon. It is so bright that it is often called the morning star, the evening star. It depends on whether it's appearing before sunrise or after sunset. Why is Venus so bright? Venus appears so brilliant because it is relatively close to Earth. Its cover has highly reflective clouds. Those clouds reflect a lot of sunlight. Its thick cloud cover acts almost like a giant mirror in space. For ancient people, Venus was the most noticeable moving light in the sky, which is why it became deeply important in mythology, religion, and astronomy across many civilizations. The strange rotation of Venus. Venus has one of the strange rotation patterns in the entire solar system. Venus rotates backwards. Most planets rotate in the same general direction, but Venus spins in the opposite direction. This is called retrograde rotation. What does that mean? On Venus, the sun was bright in the west and the set in the east. That's the opposite of what happened on Earth. Scientists are not completely certain why Venus rotates this way. It may have been caused by a giant collision in the early solar system. Long-term gravitational effects, complex atmospheric and tidal interaction. This backward spin makes Venus one of the most unusual planets in terms of rotation behavior. How long is a day and a year on Venus? Venus is famous for having a very unusual relationship between day and its year. A day on Venus takes about 243 a day through the ones of Isis. That means the single day on Venus is longer than an entire year. A year on Venus takes about 225 a day to orbit the Sun once. So remarkably, a day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. This is one of the most famous, fascinating facts about the planet. Venus' atmosphere, thick, toxic, and deadly, is the one feature that defines Venus more than anything else is its atmosphere. Venus has one of thick atmosphere, extreme atmosphere, and rapidly rocky planet in the solar system. The main component of Venus' atmosphere, carbon dioxide, CO2, about 96.5%, nitrogen, about 3.5%, trace amount of sulfur dioxide, water vapor, carbon monoxide, other chemicals. This atmosphere is not breathable. In fact, it completely toxic to humans. But the real danger is not just the chemistry, but the pressure and heat created by the dense atmosphere. The runaway greenhouse effect on Venus. Venus is the best known example of runaway greenhouse effect. This happens when a planet's atmosphere traps so much heat, surface temperature rise to extreme level that the planet can no longer cool itself effectively. How does this work on Venus? Sunlight enters the atmosphere. The planets absorb heat. The thick carbon dioxide atmosphere traps that heat. The heat cannot escape easily to space. The surface becomes hotter and hotter. Over time, this process likely intensifies dramatically, transforming Venus into the hottest planet in the solar system. This is one of the main reasons scientists are so interested in Venus. It provides real example how atmospheric chemistry can completely reshape a planet's destiny. Venus is hotter than Mercury. This surprises many people. Even though Mercury is closer to the Sun, Venus is actually hotter. Average surface temperature of Venus about 465 degrees Celsius, 869 degrees Fahrenheit. That is not enough to melt this destroy electronics, instantly kill unprotected light, while Venus hotter than Mercury. Because Mercury has almost no atmosphere, so heat escapes easily. Venus, on the other hand, is wrapped in a thick atmosphere that traps heat extremely efficiently. This makes Venus a powerful lesson in how atmosphere can matter just as much distance from the Sun. Pressure on Venus. Like a deep ocean, the atmospheric pressure on Venus is absolutely crushing. Surface on Venus about 92 times the pressure at Earth's surface. That is roughly equivalent to the pressure you would experience about 900 meters underwater on Earth. This means that if a human organic spacecraft reached the surface without very special protection, it would be crushed quickly. The pressure, combined with the heat, makes Venus one of the most difficult planets to explore directly. The clouds of Venus. Venus is completely covered by a thick cloud, which means that when we look at it from space and visible light, we cannot see its actual surface. What are Venus the clouds made of? Mainly sulfuric droplets. This means the clouds of Venus are not made of harmless water vapor like many of Earth's clouds. Instead, they are made of corrosive, acidic chemicals. This cloud creates a bright reflective cell around the planet, which is why Venus looks so brilliant in the sky. They also contribute to the planet's powerful greenhouse effects and make direct optical observation at the surface impossible without radar or specialized instruments. What does the surface of Venus look like? Because the clouds block direct vision, scientists have used radar mapping and spacecraft to understand Venus' surface. What they found was often the same. The surface of Venus includes vast volcanic plains, rocky highlands, rock mountains, lava-fallen is tectonic like crater, possible cloud, volcanic feature. Venus are not a world of ocean, forest, or river. It is rocky, scarce landscape that may look somewhat like a combination Earth. Volcanic desert, cracked lava pans, and some geologic crust is one of the most dramatic and hostile landscapes in the solar system. Is Venus volcanically active? One of the biggest questions in planet science is whether Venus is still volcanically active today. There is strong evidence that Venus has experienced massive volcanic activity in the past, and many scientists believe it may still have active volcanoes. Why do scientists think Venus may still be geologically active? Because observations suggest some lava flow may be geologically recent. Certainly, atmospheric gases may indicate volcanic release surface heat pattern in active geology. Some areas may have changed over time. If Venus still volcanically active, it could mean planet is not just a dead hot rock, but a geologically living world with internal energy still reshaping its surface. Volcano on Venus. Venus is covered with many volcanic features and may have more volcanoes than any other planet in the solar system. Examples of volcanic structure on Venus include Sin volcano, Orbital volcano rises vast lava pans. One of the most famous volcanoes on Venus is Mace Osman is one of the tallest volcanoes mountains on Venus and has often discussed a possible site of recent volcanic activity. If active volcanism still exists on Venus, it could help explain how the atmosphere continues to evolve and why certain gases remain present. Mountains as highlands of Venus. Although Venus is often imagined as a flat-over-like planet, it actually has significant topography. Important surface features include highlands, plateaus, mountain ranges, deep depression, vast volcanic region. One of the most famous highlands regions is thought terrace as one of the tallest mountain regions is. Marshall Monsters is the highest mountain range on Venus and rises several kilometers above the surrounding terrain. The reason so that Venus is geologically rich and far more complex than simple hot rocks near the Sun. The Venus has plate tectonic likers. Earth's surface is constantly reshaped by plate tectonics, where giant crustal plates move, collide, and separate. Venus did not seem to have plate tectonics in the same way Earth does. However, Venus still science up. Corrective deformation, folding, stressing, compression, large-scale resurfacing events. Some scientists believe Venus may have experienced enormous resurfacing episodes in the past, where most of planet's surface was reshaped by volcanic activity over a relatively short geological timescale. This is one of the many reasons Venus is so important for understanding how rocky planets evolve differently. Could Venus have had ocean in the past? One of the most fascinating scientific questions about Venus is was Venus one more Earth-like? Some researchers believe that in distant past, Venus may have had lower temperature, a less extreme atmosphere, perhaps even liquid water ocean. It's true. Dense Venus may once be a potentially habitable world long before it transformed into the highest planet we know today. What could have happened? A likely idea that increasing solar heating and atmosphere exchange caused Venus to lose its water over time. Water vapor itself is also greenhouse gas, so once warming increased enough, it may have accelerated a runaway greenhouse effect. Eventually, oceans may have evaporated, water may have been broken apart in the upper atmosphere, hydrogen may have escaped into space if Venus once has ocean. Then history may represent one of the most dramatic planetary climate transformations in the solar system. Could there be life on Venus? We are talking about the surface of Venus. The answer is almost certainly no. The surface is far too hostile because of extremely harsh crushing pressure, toxic atmosphere, acidic cloud chemistry. However, there is one reason scientists still discuss Venus is astrobiology. The cloud layer, a certain altitude high above the surface, temperature and pressure become less extreme. Some scientists have suggested that microbial life, if ever existed, evolved there, might potentially survive in the upper atmosphere. This idea is still highly speculative and improvement, but it remains scientifically interesting. So while Venus is not considered a strong candidate for life in the same way as Mars, Europa, and Saturn, it is not completely absent from the conversation. Does Venus have moon or rings? Venus is unusual because it has no moon and no ring system. It is interesting because Earth has one larger moon, while Mars has two small moons. Scientists are not entirely sure why Venus has no moon. It may be related to its formation history, past collision, gravitation dynamics, even without moons or ring. Venus remains one of the most intriguing planets in the solar system because its atmosphere is geological history. How humans have observed Venus. Venus has been known since ancient time because it's so bright and easy to see. For much of history, people did not even realize that morning star, even evening star, were the same object. Over time, astronomers came to understand that Venus, a planet orbiting the Sun. Venus became important in history of astronomy because it was one of the planet's visible colonize. It helped challenge the old the model of universe as faces help support the heliocentric model when viewed through a telescope. Venus shows phases similar to the Moon. These were important observations in the history of science because it supported the idea that planets orbit the Sun. Space mission to Venus. Venus has been visited by many spacecraft and it has played a major role in planetary exploration. Important types of Venus missions include flyby, orbital, atmospheric probe, surface lander, radar or mapping mission. Some major achievements in Venus exploration: mapping the surface. researchers measuring the atmosphere and pressure, studying cloud chemistry, capturing images from the surface, investigating volcanics and geological history. One of the most impressive fact about Venus exploration is that some spacecraft actually landed on the surface and sent back data, despite the extreme conditions. However, most surface missions survive only a short time because Venus is so hostile. Why Venus is so important to science? Venus matters enormously to science because it helps answer some of the biggest questions about planetary evolution. By studying Venus, scientists learn about climate system, greenhouse effects, rocky planets evolution, volcanic history, atmospheric chemistry, habitats of planet collapse scenario. Venus is especially important today because it may help us understand how planets can shift from potentially habitable to catastrophically hostile. It is not just distant planets. It is also a warning, a mystery, and a scientific treasure. Venus of the future of planetary exploration in the coming year. Venus is expected to become an even more important target for space exploration. Scientists are especially interested in whether Venus is still volcanically active, whether it once has ocean, how it's locked in water, what is its interior is like with the cloud layer, the usual chemistry that Venus can teach about. Earth-like exoplanets future mission to Venus may help reveal whether it's one more Earth-like than we currently imagine. This could completely reshape our understanding of habitable world in the universe. Conclusion: Venus is one of the most fascinating and paradoxical planets in the solar system. It is beautiful, bright, and graceful in the sky, but on its surface, it is one of the most brutal and unforgiving world known to science. With its crushing atmosphere, extreme heat, sulfuric acid cloud, volcanic plain, strange backward rotation, and possible ocean habitability, Venus has far more than just Earth's twin. It is a world that forces deeply about how planets evolve, how climate can change, and how fragile habitability may truly be. Venus teaches that similarity in size should not guarantee similarity in destiny. It may one has been more Earth-like. It may one has water. It may one has conditions that were not entirely hostile. But today, Venus stands a reminder that planets can change dramatically, and the story of the world written not only by weather form but by how atmosphere, geology, and history unfolds over billions of years. The more we study Venus, the more we understand not only other planets but also the delicate, extraordinary nature of our own.
Thank you.